Let's talk about setting boundaries in your relationship. So in today's podcast, Cece and I, we're going to talk about some of the boundaries you should make sure you set up in your relationship. So stay tuned.
That's right. Hey, Blissful friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my husband.
Hey everyone, this is Will, and welcome. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so we can notify you, or YouTube will notify you when we put out new videos. So this is a weekly podcast where we talk about
love, family, relationships, whatever else that comes to my mind, we're going to talk about it, okay? Except for politics, since my husband is not really into that. So no. I have to really let that one go. Okay, let's just move on. Whatever else is going on, we're going to talk about it here. But I want to say Happy New Month to you guys, right? Welcome to March Madness, and we're marching into we're marching.
I'm not marching into madness. No.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
No, I am
we're
not.
marching into March, right?
We're marching into goodness.
Okay.
That's the only thing I want to march to.
I agree. Well, Happy New Month. I hope you guys are having a great month. I can't say that. It's still the beginning of the month.
Well, you can start the beginning of the month. Put some greatness in you.
Okay.
Just because it's the beginning of the month. Yeah, I'm hoping you've already starting having a few great days in March, and you're gonna have a productive.
There we go. Month.
There
March.
we go.
Yes, because you're marching into the month. Like we're marching with all baggages and all goals and everything else that you have going on. So let's go. Y'all know about me. Don't get me started. And no, I haven't had my drink yet. So, so guys, I can already see his face is like, oh my God. Oh my God. Mm.
Oh my God.
Anyways, let's go into my favorite topic of the day, a blissful moment.
What's your blissful moment?
What's my blissful moment besides a great month that we had last February? You guys, I'm sure you probably saw the vlog already. It was a great blissful moment. Listen, we don't celebrate those days like that. I mean, it was great. The goodness, the blessings, all the blessings. It was such a blissful moment to celebrate it with my husband, my daughters, and of course, our parents kind of sort of part of the blissful moment because we had to drop off the kids there, So we had to drop them somewhere. So, I feel like it was a great moment, and I am very blessed, very, very blessed.
Yeah, it was great.
I feel like we kind of make up for the last 2 years because you remember COVID 2020 and then
Yes.
2021, we didn't do nothing because we were home. Typically on our anniversary, we go somewhere but the last 2 years, child, listen, we did nothing.
COVID was here.
We did nothing.
So
okay?
we hung around the house. But
yes.
Yeah, it was good. We got out, we got to a few places and activities. Now I'm broke.
No, you're not. You broke?
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, we spent some time together. We enjoyed ourselves.
To me, it's not, I don't know how many times I've said this. I know my husband know me very well. It doesn't have to be expensive places. I know he's very typical. I got to take my woman out to a nice restaurant or to a nice place or whatever it is. But I keep telling him, babe, it's the quality time that we get to spend together. That's what matters to me. We can go by the water. We can go, somewhere by the park or whatever. It's just the moment. We have a picnic. It's fine by me. It's just the moment. It's the quality time that we get to spend together. And that's what makes me happy. So enough about me and my blissful moments. So now let's go ahead and jump into what we about to talk about. What we talking about, baby, tonight?
Setting boundaries.
Today.
I know last week we talked about Christian boundaries. Now we're talking about boundaries altogether. I think everyone who's in a relationship should have some sort of boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, many people when they first start dating, they kind of, you don't know this person. So
you start out strong. You have all your boundaries together, you
have to keep your guard up because you don't know if this, you don't know who this person is. So you had to protect yourself.
True.
But over time, it does get lax, right? Things have become a bit less restrictive. Mm-hmm. And, little things happen here and then before you know it, no boundaries. Everything
no
goes.
respect.
Yeah. And that bound to happen when you're with someone. And as you get to know this person, you become more comfortable around this person. Right. But are you letting that comfort bring in all other things, including disrespect with it? Because that does happen.
True.
The more comfortable you become, the less respected you.
Yes. And I feel like too, when it comes to boundaries, you got to be vocal, right? Vocal and be honest about the boundaries that, that you want to set in your relationship with this guy or this girl. Listen, early on in life, when you first start dating someone, you definitely got to start with boundaries.
Well, yes, you have to have it. And you're right. You have to speak it. You have to speak up. You can't stay quiet. And you can't keep bending because of what this person wants.
Right.
So if there's certain things that you don't want, or certain things that you would not take from someone, then you got to be able to speak. Hey, listen, I know this is maybe something you've done, but don't do it again. That's a no for me.
Did you have high boundaries?
Man, I had no boundaries.
You didn't?
No. Well, I didn't have boundaries per se. I mean, there's certain things that, respect is important for me. So I expected to be treated with respect, and I'll treat you back with respect. So there's certain things that I wouldn't take if you say to me, I would put you right back in your place. Like calling me names. Well, time was something, but I had to bend because some people don't know what it means to be on time.
It's just time. Ain't nobody gonna be on time. I'm just saying.
Like I said, some people didn't know what it means to be on time. But overall, I mean, I didn't have boundaries. I'm all I was all open to have an experience.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's a question for you. Let's say to you when we were in our early stage of dating, and I wasn't the type that abide by any men boundaries. Would you still date me even if you man, I have my boundaries, but I cannot, certain things that you cannot do, but then yet I'm still, pushing you to either break your boundaries or change your boundaries?
Well, here's what I'll say. I mean, when it comes to doing things, I was open to have an experience, so I would do things. But I think respect is the one thing that hurts because I want to be treated with respect. And I'll say it again because if you're with someone and they're constantly disrespecting you, then that's a problem.
You or your parents?
Well, yes. And yes, you don't just go and calling my people names and whatever it may be, you have to have that. And
what
I
if I was this crazy?
Then you probably wouldn't be with me. You probably wouldn't be with me. And obviously there's a certain way that I expected the person that I'm with to behave.
Right.
Right? I hate making scenes. You're screaming, you're yelling. Yes. Don't make a fool out of yourself. Because if you do, you make a fool out of me. That doesn't mean take everything that's given to you. But if you're going to maybe confront someone, do it in a classy way. Don't be like, yeah, no, come on. No, do it in a way that shows class.
Do I have class?
Well, I give you class. Oh! But she does have class. But this is the thing. See, out in public, there's certain things that I expect. Like acting a fool, this is not me. If something happens, we're going to figure it out together, whether it involves me or someone else. We're not going to go make a fool out of ourselves.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So that's one thing. And as far as getting into places and doing things, yes, there's certain things that I didn't want to do just because I know what the risks were.
Right.
Right. not going to go into the details, but because I know I didn't want to disappoint my parents, which there are certain expectations of me, and obviously coming up, I had to make sure that I live by those expectations. And you could say the same thing also. There's certain things your people expected of you. For you to have gone and do the opposite of would have been a disgrace.
A slap in the face, more like, yes.
So, but now I do know better. I do understand it's important to do the things you want to do, but then I realized that a lot of the expectations that they had on me becomes the thing that makes me who I am today. So it's a good thing they had those expectations.
You know, I really appreciate what you just said, honey, is that when you have your boundaries, and I feel like sometimes you need to be able to tell people no.
Yes.
You know, you need to be able to let people know that this is going too far and this is unacceptable, right? And I feel like sometimes, especially for us, you know, women, we feel like, man, we don't want to hurt so-and-so's feeling, or we don't know how to say no. And I think sometimes it can also be where you come from, where, you know, the household that you were raised by, where it's hard for you to let someone know that this is not acceptable.
Yes. And it takes some confidence to actually get to the point where you feel very comfortable telling someone no.
Right.
Now, some people were born with that stuff. They'll tell you no and no and no again.
It's hard for me.
And they'll put it in your face too.
Yes.
But others struggle with it.
I know for me, I have problem with saying no, because I feel like when I say no to someone, I'm hurting their feelings. Yes, I'm hurting your feeling. And at the same time, I feel like my feeling is hurting too.
But their feeling is more important than yours, so you'd rather hurt your feeling by not telling them no.
Listen, it's hard. It is hard. And I feel like you just said, as people were actually born to say no. Like, they don't care how you feel about it. They'll just flat out tell you no. No is no. And they just move on to the next whatever. And I think too, sometimes you can be nice and be a respectful person and still draw the lines, you know, when it comes to say no. Listen, I love you, but no, it's not gonna work out. I love you, but I mean, I like you as a friend, or, you know, even if it's a family member, even if it's like, you know, a friend, right?
Yeah.
You still have to set boundaries. You still have to be able to say respectfully, I'm going to decline this, you know, or if you don't want to say no, just decline it. Right?
Yes and yes and yes.
And no.
Well, yes to the fact that it's important for you to be able to say no to things that you that are not aligned with your values and the boundaries that you've set.
Right.
So, like, for instance, if someone their fun things is to do craziness, go out and get drunk and do that stuff. If that's not your stuff, well, you shouldn't have been with this person to start out with, because if that's not your thing, I'll tell you, one thing that I know, if we go out, I'm not the type who drinks, but if we go out, I'll have a drink, and I will not have more than one drink or two, because I know that I'll have to drive back home, and I don't want to have alcohol on my system.
Right.
So if someone you're with me and your idea of fun is to keep pushing me to drink more and drink more, I don't go with that. I don't play that stuff. I'm going to tell you, this is it, and this is my limit. Now, if it's my girl and you want to get drunk, I'm going to tell you, whatever my limit is, that needs to be yours, because I don't want to have to take care of someone who's drunk. And obviously, Sissy and I, we have not gone to places. Now, she did have a couple of episodes where she got drunk. We were just spending some time at her parents'.
I was at my mom's house.
She was out.
I was at my mom's house and I was here. I do drink when I am at my house and my parents' house.
Home.
But as far as outside of home, no. I would just have just one glass of whatever, and then that's it. But I want to say this too while you were talking. I was thinking about, can you imagine when you dating someone and then this guy is like, listen, I want you to sneak out of your parents' house to meet with me somewhere. And there's a lot of women who are not capable of
saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
But in reality, I feel like if we were dating, I don't think we would have never worked out if you were like one of those people that's like, okay, I want you to do this. All the rules are like against my parents. No out, no out after 11 o'clock, and no partying.
Well, you could party. It's just that not in the wee hours of the day. Yeah.
Right. So all these things, you really have to think of these and make sure that you able to say no to someone who's trying to get you outside of what you're not supposed to be doing.
But yeah, it's good to set those boundaries. And obviously we could look at a number of things. Like you mentioned the sneaking out of your parents' place.
Listen,
I wouldn't want you to do that. If we're gonna go out, we're gonna go out legally. Right?
Legally in the front porch, in the front door. We're gonna walk together. And mind you, my parents are always there, sitting there waiting and watching us walking out the front door.
If you had even suggested to do this, the thought that would come in mind, how many other people have you done that with?
True.
If you've done this with me, you probably do it. And hey, listen, that's me. I'm crazy. I think of stuff.
No, there's nothing wrong with the way that you're thinking, though. There's nothing wrong with it. But definitely I would do. I think I would probably be the same way too. Like, how many girls have you done this with? How many girls have you,
snuck out with?
Right.
Sneaking out is a good thing for guys.
Well, guys are different.
I think I should even sneak out right now sometimes.
Where you going? What? Stay out. Lock the door. Change the doorknob.
Yes. But when it comes to physical contact, you gotta have some boundaries as well.
Yes.
Don't keep feeling me. Well, feeling someone is a good thing.
Feeling someone. I was told by my dad, when you're dating someone, don't let them keep on touching
feeling you,
because you're not a piece of meat. This was something that my dad said, and I told I definitely get it, okay? Because I did told him in the beginning, I am not one of those girls that I'm gonna let you feel me or touch me all the time, because I'm not a piece of meat, according to my dad. I'm not. And it's true, though. It's true. You got to set yourself like at this high standards, like I mentioned last time on the last podcast, where you make this guy want you more. Like, man, this woman has, value in boundaries that makes me respect her even more. Right. But when you just like let them do whatever, it's like.
Well, the whatever feels good. So I guess sometimes there's reasons why to allow them to do whatever, but again, you can't give into your feelings. Well, it feels good when you
don't touch me, sir. I'm not a piece of meat.
But and this is where you have to manage your feelings. Something may feel good, but that doesn't mean it's right for this time, right? Because obviously we need our respect. You need your respect.
Yes.
And when you let it all out and it doesn't work out and you gotta start over, then you become like the one that gives it to whomever pretty quickly.
Yeah.
With the hope that they'll stick around.
I mean, I think respect is important. As a girl, when you date someone, you want them to respect you.
But you want to respect your body.
You want to respect your body. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you want them to value you. You want them to say, hey, I'm dating this girl who has very value for herself and standards, and she doesn't mess, you can't mess with her. She may be stiff, but what?
You can't mess with that girl. But remember, setting boundaries in a relationship, this is not to control the other person.
No, right? At all.
It's not to put pressure on the other person to do things the way you want them to. What boundary is more like is, this is what I like, this is what I want,
right.
And these are the things that I'm not going to accept from you.
That's right.
So when you set those, and obviously vocally, and make sure that you're honest with those boundaries.
Yes.
Those are the things that I want. And since we're in a relationship, there are certain things that are important to me. It's best that you understand them, early on. And there's some craziness that I will not take from you. It's best to know what those are early on as well.
Exactly.
Because that allows you to really, really start the right way.
Absolutely.
And remain consistent. Not like today it's not and tomorrow it is. the next day, then you're giving that person the wrong impression. It's important one day, it's not important the next day. You gotta remain consistent on those.
That
boundaries.
is so true. It's like, yeah, we can sneak out today, but not next month because because the moment that you sneak out, the moment that you let that one slide, it's like, okay, so this is what we said in the beginning. Yeah. Like in the beginning, you have like your foundation, your hardcore boundaries, and then as time goes by, you're like, okay, I'll let it slide. You can really,
yeah. And one thing that's important as well, you have to make sure you can explain to your partner why those boundaries are important.
Yes.
What's behind them?
Yes.
Because people would understand things better if they know why.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Cece had said, no feely, touchy early on.
Yes.
Obviously, but I don't think you explained to me what those are. I can't assume.
I would think you would figure it out.
But when you have these boundaries, it does help if you really let your partner know why.
Yes.
Why they're important to you.
Right. And here's the thing too. It doesn't have to be in like a sitting down kind of like, hey, I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna talk to you about
send it to them in a text.
1, 2, 3. No, it's like, to me, the way I remember is that we were in a car driving somewhere, or we were in our beginning, in our first stage of dating. And I kind of like mentioned to him, hey, babe, hey, listen, I have my boundaries, I have my rules. There's certain things that I don't like people do to me. I'm a woman who respects myself. Therefore, I want you to respect me and respect my boundaries. And this is exactly what happened. Those are my boundaries. If you can abide by them, and we are good. But it doesn't mean that I was like this stiff girl, like can't play and can have fun, can have a good time. But it's just a matter of, you have your boundaries. You let them know in the beginning, this is what it is.
And boundaries are healthy for a relationship as well.
Absolutely. Look where we are today.
Yeah. She still has some boundaries.
I still do.
So sometimes she's in the kitchen, I go around and do something. She's
I still do.
I don't like it when you do that.
I don't like it.
What the hey? So boundaries, yes, it allows you to really know the do's and the don'ts and the little things you can get away with and the crap you just can't get away with. So it allows you to have these tough conversations, and the more you have them, the more comfortable you become at having conversations that are tough. Because I'll tell you, there are households where people that are living together, married together, there's certain things wife is afraid to tell the husband because it's just not his thing, or the husband's afraid to tell the wife because it's not her thing. But if you start with setting boundaries, which usually something the other person will not want to hear, if you can set those and have this open conversation explaining why that is and why it's important to you, that will allow you to really build the skill to be able to articulate yourself to your partner. And if you could do that, you're golden. You'll be able to talk to each other.
Yes. And there's a difference between talking and communicating with your partner, right? Like you communicate, you like have this conversation with your partner, not yelling and screaming at him or at her.
Yeah. And this is the thing. When you're confident in yourself and you know how to explain what's going on or why that's important to you, you don't have to raise your voice.
Right. And that's something I really appreciate about our relationship, is that we never raise our voice at each other.
Well, why do you think I talk so much? I can explain stuff.
And you... Yeah. That. And
but it's good.
Yeah. Right. What he said.
Transparent communication is important in any relationship.
Honesty too is important.
And honesty is.
Yes.
And this is where these boundaries are important. You got to be honest about the things that you're comfortable with. You got to be honest about the things that make sense to you. And you have to be able to say to your partner, that's not, no, I don't like that.
Right.
And she's good at telling me stuff.
I am good.
And sometimes I don't get it at first, and it happens a few times. And she'll have that look. She's not always the smiley that you see here, There's a side of her you have not seen.
And they probably will never see
She's got a temper.
Which I am working on still. Since I'm working on it. This man got me a book to really work on my temper. Like, you remember the book that you got me? The
yes.
Some kind of management. Anger management.
Now, that was way early on. I think she's beyond that. But she still has a temper. Now, we all have tempers. It's when we let it out. And it comes out if there's something she doesn't like, and I do it over and over. And sometimes it almost seems like...
And I feel like somebody just do it for the heck of bothering me, for the heck of doing it.
Well, here's my...
It's like, you know I don't like it, but you just do it.
When people react negatively to things, sometimes it forces me to do it just to see how you're going to react. I know that's bad.
It is really bad.
That's kind of bullying, but I don't bully my wife. She's the love of my life, and I don't bully her. But sometimes she has like the craziest reaction to things, and I just do them just to see how she would react. And sometimes she gets upset. Well,
yes, I do, because you know I don't like it. And I think this is where communication and honesty really comes, where it comes to, like, you know, setting boundaries. Hey, listen, you know, when I get upset, you know, when I don't like when you do certain thing, and it's the same thing for him too, vice versa. You know,
I don't get upset.
Yes, you do. You?
Mm-mm.
Listen, guys, we're very similar. Okay, and mind you, we are the same sign. I'm the female version of Capricorn. He's the male version of Capricorn.
Which female versions of Capricorn has issues?
So is male version of Capricorn. No, I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I really think communicate with respect is so definitely important. And then I truly blessed and beyond that we have that here in this home because of our parents' model. You know, my mom is such a model to me, role model to me, because the way that they communicate with each other, whatever it is, she is going to tear my dad's ears off.
I was just going to say yes.
And I think I am getting there myself. And I know sometimes my husband is just tired of me talking, but I'm like, you just got to listen. You just got to sit there and hear me out. Even though I know it's not.
True story.
Okay. What's the true story?
Last night, I drove home. I spent about 15 minutes sitting in the driveway listening to her.
It's a lie. That's not true.
I spent about 15 minutes sitting in the car just listening to her. Because I figured, you know what? Let me just sit there and listen. Because it's probably safer for me to listen in the car than coming inside.
And he actually did listen. You were quiet. I was
yes. I was sitting in there just relaxing and listening.
Oh, you were relaxing.
Yes. You listen better when you're relaxed.
Or in your phone scrolling?
No. I had to pay attention. I mean, hey, listen, she was talking about something serious, but that just goes to show she just talked. She talks.
I wonder where I get it from. We both talk a lot, but I talk great talk.
But hey, listen, we communicate, and that allows us to really understand what's important to each other.
And sometimes I feel like we communicate too much.
Oh yes.
Listen, this is how I am. If I have something that come into my mind, I'm going to share it with you. Whatever you're doing, I'm going to pull you aside, baby. You have a minute, and just so you know, that minute is going to be 15, 30 minutes, or sometime an hour. And I'm going to say it's not going to take long, and you know it's going to take long. So therefore.
And that's for things she doesn't like, things she wants to change.
Well, yes.
It's never a short. Actually, lately, we have not had any short conversations. And I've learned to listen because what I'm realizing is that when I speak the way that I normally do, the conversation becomes a lot longer. So I try to listen more. So that shortens it up. It just taking away my part, but her part is just there. I'm just not adding a whole lot to it. So I listen more, which is good. Like I told that conversation yesterday that we had while I sat in the driveway. If I was contributing back to that conversation, it probably would have taken an hour.
Yes, so it would.
I sat there and listened.
And then you're like, babe, I'm here. I'm in the garage.
Oh, yes. When I felt like I had enough, I'm like, I'm here. I'm going to come in. We'll finish this.
This is so messed up. I feel like this was a sign that you're telling me that, okay, let's just stop the talking.
we have something and we've made it work for the last 12 years. And our intention is to make it work until we're no longer.
Eternity.
So talk to your partner. If it's something you don't like, lay it out and let them know. If they continue to do it, do like she does. Get to the point you're pissed off and says, you know what? You need to get this through your head. But be vocal. Be honest.
Yes.
And really state the things that you would not accept from this person.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say too is that my husband and I, we used to do it a few years back before COVID, where we do our partner check-ins. We do like every twice a month. We'll just go to a restaurant. We just sit there and talk, which is like, our check-in time. We haven't been doing that since COVID.
We check in every day here. So I don't want to go to a restaurant and check in again. I was at lunch, literally getting ready to wrap up to go back to work. And there she was telling me, you know what, you do this. You need to do this differently. It's something I'm handling. And she's like, I know you do this, but you do need to do this. I'm handling something for clients. And she's like, she's from a distance, not even realizing what context or what was going on. She was just copied on the communication. She's like, yeah, I know you do this, but you need to do this. And I'm like, I gotta go. We'll talk later. But no hard feelings, no getting upset. Really? I understand her. She understands me. I just had to say, let's cut it off. I gotta go.
And I feel like you didn't really have to go back to work. You just wanted to cut me off.
No, I had to go back to work, but you just picked the wrong time to throw this and to do that check-in or that correction or whatever you want to call it.
No, but it is important though for the check-ins. Yes, I know we do checking every day.
But I don't need to go to a restaurant to check in. I'm driving home. She's checking in on stuff. The typical people talk about how was work, how's the drive.
We do talk about how was work.
Oh yeah, and then the check-in, the business related stuff, the corrections.
And I do ask how was work.
Yeah, that's like the shortest part of the conversation.
And then we go into business talk.
Yes.
So yes, guys, listen, it is so important really to make it clear to your partners that what you want and what you expect of them, right, babe?
And if they screw up, don't be afraid to tell them.
Yeah.
This is not what we talked about.
Yes. And I feel like this way you can be your best self. You really can be your best self in the beginning, in your marriage, and at the end of your life. You'll have a much easier relationship and much healthier relationship.
More like a much healthier. Relationships are never easy. When you're dealing with...
Oh my God. I feel like seriously.
And listen, we have fun with what we do, so I'm hoping you guys do see that. But at the same time, we understand each other, and there's certain things that she will not accept from me, and there's certain things that I will not take from her. I'm a villain
here today.
Anyway.
I'm just saying.
This is our podcast on setting boundaries.
Clearly, you have boundaries issues.
If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe. We're planning on having a lot of these conversations like this going forward, and you would not want to miss them. So hit on the notification bell so you can be notified when we put out these videos.
Yes.
And share this with anyone you think this may be beneficial to. Obviously, we're talking about things that are relevant and to anyone who's in a relationship.
Yes.
Whether it's long-term, short-term, having fun, one night stand, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, no, we don't do that here. We don't recommend that here.
But we appreciate you all who's been supporting the channels. And obviously, a lot of you have been sharing because our videos have been seen by a whole lot more people than they used to. So thank you very much to all of you guys.
And please remember to subscribe because I know we have a lot of views lately. And I just want you guys to please subscribe so we can grow this channel more and add more of those great topics because we do get great comments as well. And thank you to all of you guys who commented on those videos. Y'all know I love reading me some comments, so
she does.
Keep them coming.
So thank you very much. Hey, remember to check us on the audio channels as well. Spotify, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and obviously you watching us on YouTube. So, and guys, thank you very much again for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Bye.
Peace.